Hey, so happy Valentine's Day. We figured for Valentine's Day we would do a video on how we ended up together. Because it's a good one. No, okay. So the first time we met, don't just stare at me like that, do something. The first time we met was, I was dating his cousin, and
Hello.
I was dating his cousin, and he was at the house.
I was at the house, not the cousin.
You were at the house.
He was there too, but
And I showed up with him. What? You're going to have to tell this because I don't remember. I remember walking in, you were on the computer, they introduced you to me. I didn't even know who you were. Thought you were another cousin.
which was, but
Well, but I mean, like, I was thinking you were one of the other ones.
fair enough.
Anyway, didn't pay much attention. What do you remember for that?
From at that point, just that you came in with Nathan and sitting down, and that's about it. I was playing a game.
Is that the time that you remember what I was wearing?
I mean, I don't remember what it looked like or anything. I remember your hair was curly and you were wearing some, I don't know what you call it because I'm not a fashion person, but it was like a poncho thing.
Yeah, poncho shawl thing.
Shawl, that's probably it.
No, I think they are called ponchos.
Okay.
They're not in style anymore.
It was only like 12 years ago.
13 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
That was about it from that moment. Yes.
Yeah, and I didn't pay any attention to you. Anyway, fast forward to your uncle's funeral.
Which wasn't far from that. It was just a couple days later.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was just a couple days later.
Oh, I didn't think he had passed by that time. Anyway, so I just remember saying, I thought you were an old guy, though, because you were bald. I remember seeing a bald guy comforting your uncle's mom. And I just, yeah, I thought you were an old guy. But yeah, I was like, oh, that's so sweet that he's comforting her because she just lost her son. But I thought you were like 50. And so I didn't think anything about it. She always has had a thing
for old men, so.
Anyway, so I didn't think anything about it, and then when was that? Oh, then the next time was, what was that? Like 5 months later? 5 months later.
Something like that. It was in the summer. It was when the War of the Worlds movie with Tom Cruise was in theater. That was a long time ago.
And yeah, we were on a group date. I was with his cousin.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have a date.
No, we'll just go with that.
You didn't. He can't add a date.
It was
he doesn't claim it a date. And you two were drag racing. I was in the car with the cousin. You were in your car. They were kind of racing down Main Street being stupid teenage boys. But you won him. And I was like, yes. Because he needed to be knocked down a few notches. I hope he doesn't watch this. Or any of the family. The family shouldn't watch this. Anyway, you knew. Anyway, so I was like, yes. But then he was pissed for the rest of the night. He was ticked at that movie. Like, was honoring with me, everything. Because he was mad. But then, after the movie, the cousin I was dating's mom was in the hospital having a baby. And so we all went to the hospital and hung out in the waiting room and talked and stuff, waiting for her to have this baby like all night long. It was in the wee hours of the morning that the baby was finally born. But I remember just sitting there thinking, because he was still bald at the time. I didn't realize he was the same old man. But anyway, so we were talking, and I remember thinking, well, he's not very cute, but he's really funny. And that was basically it. Like, I didn't think anything else of you. Did you think anything? When was the point that you told him that I was hot? And he, like, just went.
It was after that.
After the baby?
Yeah. School was just about to start. It was like just before school started. I was hanging out and was actually telling one of my friends that his girlfriend was hot, and then our other cousin was like, "Well, I'm gonna tell him that you said that," and I was like, "I'll tell him." So I did. And
What other cousin?
Sarah.
Oh, okay. So you told him, and what were you guys doing? Rolling tires down a hill? Is that what that was?
I don't know if we rolled tires down the hill, but we went up to the top of the knolls.
Oh, okay. And he didn't care that you said that, right?
No.
Should have known.
I never had any.
It was fair warning.
There was never any intention of
Go away, Bear.
taking his girlfriend away or anything like that, but it just happened.
Anyway. And then, no, I'm not letting you out right now. And then in September, school had just started, football was going on. You showed up to a game in my hometown. And I never ever recognized people. And especially because the last time I had seen him, he was bald. And then when he showed up to the game, he had hair down to like right here, and it was like black. He had dyed it black. And anyway, I was checking out his friend. I had broken up with the cousin at this point. I was checking out his friend, and then I looked and saw you. I was checking out your friend. Looked and saw you and was like, Roger! And by some miracle remembered your name and who you were. Anyway. And then you came over. You didn't know who I was. Of course, I had had curly hair when you saw me. And then at that point, at the football game, I had like my hair dyed dark and it was straight. Anyway, I had to remind him who I was. Said, I'm dating your cousin, or I was dating your cousin. I'm not anymore. We just broke up a while ago. Anyway, so then he was like, yes. No. Anyway, I ended up from there just getting together and hanging out. Then I was off and on a little bit more with the cousin. When I was finally off for good with the cousin, then you swooped in.
I don't know that I necessarily swooped in, but it's like it was like an agreement. It was mutual.
Just kidding. Anyway, then what was it? After we ended up getting together, it was like 6 months later that we got married. There goes my phone.
Was it 6 months?
Well, yeah. Well, okay. It was longer than that. I'm saying when we were really
like
together
9
together.
months. Yeah. It's like 9 months later.
October to July is when we got married.
Yeah.
So, and then the rest
Pretty quick.
is history. When you know, you know.
When you know, you know. You know?
Yeah. Anything else? Now we have 5 children and have been married for almost 12 years. I had to think.
It's been so long.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Anyway, anything else?
That's the gist of it. But, there's been hard times and bad times, and not bad times, just hard times. And,
Maybe not for you. It's been bad times for me.
but, when you commit to a relationship and you are really stubborn, you tend to work through it.
Yeah. There was a point that the only reason we stayed married is because I didn't want to prove everybody right when they said that they'll never last.
Yeah.
But hey, we stuck through it. And then 12 years later, well, I guess it's 11 years later from that point. But
Yeah.
we worked it out and we're happy.
Worked it out, and lots of good times. Way more good times than bad times.
Yep. You're my best friend.
You're my best friend.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.